From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana Siddiqui. A 13-year-old Muslim boy was allegedly stabbed by 3 other minors in the northern Indian city of Kanpur for refusing to chant a Hindu religious slogan. The incident took place in Sarsol, a suburb of Kanpur, an industrial hub in Uttar Pradesh, India's largest and most populous state. The teenager was reportedly on his way to a nearby bus stop on Thursday evening when the attackers confronted him. They demanded he bow down and recite the slogan and then stabbed his leg with broken glass when he refused. According to the Times of India, a police investigation has been launched and a case filed under India's new criminal code. The boy is being treated in a hospital. The attack has sparked renewed concern about rising religious intolerance and targeted hate crimes in India, especially involving youth. Palestinian rights activist Mahmoud Khalil missed the birth of his first child after U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, denied his request for temporary release. His wife, Noor Abdullah, gave birth on Monday in New York City without him by her side. Khalil has been detained at an ICE facility in Louisiana since last month after plainclothes agents arrested him at the couple's apartment. His legal team requested a furlough with monitoring conditions so he could attend the birth of his son. ICE denied the request within an hour, citing case details. Abdullah called ICE's refusal a purposeful act of cruelty, blaming the Trump administration for robbing their family of precious moments. Khalil listened to the birth over the phone at the ICE detention center more than 1,000 miles away. Georgia State Representative Ruah Rahman condemned the decision, saying Khalil was targeted for advocating for Palestinian freedom at Columbia University last year, where he was a student. Harvard University has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration after the federal government froze over $2 billion in funding to the school. The move followed Harvard's refusal to comply with what it calls illegal demands from Washington. Harvard President Alan Garber said the lawsuit aims to stop the funding cut, calling it unlawful and beyond the government's authority. The university accuses the administration of using federal funds as a tool to force ideological conformity. The lawsuit argues that the freeze violates the First Amendment and federal laws, claiming it is retaliation for Harvard's stance on campus protests last year, as well as its diversity programs. The Trump administration has attacked diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, efforts in schools and businesses, saying they are discriminatory. Harvard is the first major university to openly defy the administration's directives, which the White House claims are meant to fight anti-Semitism on college campuses. Garber, who is Jewish, said the school is committed to tackling hate, but warned that the government must engage in good faith before taking punitive action. The Committee to Protect Journalists, or CPJ, has issued a safety advisory for international reporters traveling to or from the U.S. The warning comes amid reports of the Trump administration drafting a new travel ban affecting more than 40 countries. These include several African nations, Iran, Russia, Venezuela, and Syria. Journalists linked to these countries or covering politically sensitive topics have been urged to expect possible entry restrictions. CPJ warns that they may also face intense questioning and searches of their devices at U.S. borders. The organization highlights that foreign journalists, even those with press credentials, are not exempt from scrutiny. Non-citizen reporters may face confiscation of electronics, demands for passwords and social media access, or even denial of entry. As well, dual nationals could face additional screening. While no journalist is known to have been denied entry yet, the CPJ is urging caution. Observers say the organization's warning underscores growing concerns over press freedom and journalist safety under evolving U.S. immigration policies. Senator Peter Welch has called for the immediate release of Mohsen Mahdawi, a Palestinian student and legal U.S. resident. He was detained during his citizenship interview in Vermont last week. Mahdawi, a former protest organizer at Columbia University, was arrested at a U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services office. Welch visited Mahdawi and said he should be released so that he can become a U.S. citizen. Mahdawi says he remains hopeful, affirming his belief in democracy and free speech, the very principles he says inspired his desire for U.S. citizenship. Mahdawi also rejected Secretary of State Marco Rubio's claim that his activism fuels anti-Semitism, noting that his work for peace includes Jewish and Israeli allies. Mahdawi is the 9th Columbia University student facing deportation under President Donald Trump's new executive orders targeting foreign nationals. In January, the right-wing Jewish organization Beitar USA said on X that Mahdawi was on a deport list the group had compiled. Its former executive director, Ross Glick, told CBS News last week that Beitar USA has collected information on thousands of pro-Palestinian activists and passed it on to the Trump administration. Israel has launched new air and artillery strikes across Gaza, killing at least 26 Palestinians and wounding 60 more since early Tuesday morning. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, 11 people were burned alive in Khan Yunis. In central Gaza's Nusayrat refugee camp, Israeli warplanes killed 3 civilians, including 2 girls. Another Israeli airstrike in Deir al-Balah killed a doctor, Wafa news agency reports. In northern Gaza, a drone strike on Jabalia refugee camp killed 5 more people, according to Al-Aqsa Radio. Explosions continue to rock the region as Israeli forces blow up homes and shell eastern Gaza. Medical teams say the attacks are worsening an already catastrophic health crisis, with Gaza's hospitals barely functioning. Medicine and critical supplies have run out after Israel closed border crossings on March 2nd. Patients with war injuries and chronic diseases face deadly delays in treatment. The health ministry has repeatedly warned of a total collapse. Food shortages have also reached extreme levels. Aid organizations say their last food stocks are nearly gone due to Israel's total blockade, which bars the entry of food, water, and medicine. Israel has killed at least 51,266 Palestinians and injured 116,991 in its genocide in Gaza since it began 18 months ago. Most of the dead are women and children. Israel faces a genocide case at the International Court of Justice. As well, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants last November for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for war crimes in Gaza. Canadian Muslim voters urge political parties to act on Islamophobia. Details after the break, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back. In Canada, Muslim voters are demanding real commitments from political leaders to tackle Islamophobia and hate crimes ahead of the April 28th federal election. Reem Sheet of the National Council of Canadian Muslims says Canadian Muslims want more than words. They are calling for a national strategy against hate, action on civil rights, and a clear stance on Palestine. Sheet said Canadian Muslims are watching what is happening under President Donald Trump in the U.S. with horror. Canada has seen the highest number of targeted Muslim killings among G7 countries. These include the 2017 Quebec City mosque massacre and the 2021 truck attack in London, Ontario, in which a white supremacist killed 4 members of a Muslim family. Despite this, critics say the issue has received little attention during the campaign. Voters say rising Islamophobia and limits on free speech, especially around support for Palestinians, must be addressed. Advocates also criticized a recent move by a Canadian legal group that canceled an event with Syrian peace activist Tariq Haddad over his views on Israel's genocide in Gaza. Although Canada appointed a special representative on Islamophobia last year, Muslim voters say more decisive action is needed, from laws to leadership. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has condemned a U.S.-sponsored anti-immigrant TV ad aired on Mexican public television over the weekend. The ad, funded by the U.S. government, features Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. She is seen delivering a stark warning. If you come to our country and break our laws, we will hunt you down. Criminals are not welcome in the U.S. Sheinbaum called the message discriminatory and said it undermines Mexico's sovereignty. She said no foreign government should be allowed to air such propaganda on national platforms. Mexico's anti-discrimination agency, CONAPRED, also criticized the ad and called for its removal, citing laws against broadcasting hateful or discriminatory content. The ad blames previous U.S. administrations for open border policies it claims fueled crime and drug trafficking. Sheinbaum said such foreign propaganda was banned until 2014, when the law was repealed. She now wants that ban reinstated. Sheinbaum has ordered an investigation into how the law was removed and vowed to protect national dignity and migrant rights. Former South African Foreign Minister Naledi Pandor has called for urgent UN reforms to enforce UN court rulings on Israel. In an interview with Anadolu News Agency, she criticized global inaction on the issue, which the International Court of Justice, or ICJ, has deemed a potential genocide. Pandor, who led South Africa's ICJ case against Israel, stressed the need for a military-backed enforcement mechanism to protect civilians worldwide. She also slammed the UN Security Council's outdated structure, citing veto powers that block justice. Tensions between the U.S. and South Africa have escalated, with Washington cutting aid and expelling a top diplomat. Despite backlash, several nations backed South Africa's ICJ case. Pandor emphasized all Genocide Convention signatories, including Israel, must prevent atrocities. Pandor acknowledged that the genocide case has worsened relations between Pretoria and Washington. As G20 chair, South Africa had invited U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio to a summit in Johannesburg, but he declined. Trump also indicated he would not attend the G20 Leaders Summit. The U.S.-China trade war has hurt Canada's economy, damaging Conservative election chances. Polls show the party's lead over the Liberals shrinking. Union workers, who make up 30% of the workforce, could decide the vote, as union endorsements strongly influence members. Last year, Conservatives hoped for record union support before Mark Carney led the Liberals. Now their momentum has stalled. Experts say economic fears are shifting votes. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Saudi Arabia for a 2-day official visit. His aircraft was escorted by Saudi Royal fighter jets as it entered the country's airspace, highlighting the visit's importance. In a statement to Arab News, Modi called Saudi Arabia one of India's most valued partners, a trusted friend, and a strategic ally. India is Saudi Arabia's second largest trading partner, while the kingdom is India's fifth largest. Modi noted that relations between the two nations have gained strategic depth in recent years. He is expected to meet with the Indian community in Jeddah and witness the signing of several bilateral agreements during the visit. Indians are the largest community of expatriates in Saudi Arabia, numbering more than 2 million. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. Please donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.